ladies, it is Lisa. I'm sorry it has been a long time, and excuse the way I look. Being a mommy, I don't get dressed and put makeup on every day, especially being a mommy with 1.5. But I just wanted to stop by real quick and give you guys an update on Ealom. He is 7 months now, and he is a big boy. We went to a recent doctor's appointment because he had a slight case of a yeast infection, and I didn't know what it was at first. I thought it was just a weird rash. My husband's, when he was little, he was actually allergic to his own urine. So I thought that's what it was. Well, we took him in, and it ended up being a yeast infection. I didn't even know boys got yeast infections. And the doctor said, no, it's just because it's been so hot, and, that area is damp. He was like, that's just what happens. So we had to deal with that for a couple of days, and that's gone away. Ealom was a good sport about it, though. He didn't complain too much. He's actually on the floor right next to me now playing with some toys. He is a very mobile baby. He crawls, he rolls, he rocks. I had to baby-proof my house yesterday because he had probably 50 or 60 other toys on the ground with him, and the one thing that he wanted was the laptop power cord, or my husband's weights that were in the floor, laying on the floor. So just he likes things, not necessarily toys, just things. He loves stuffed animals. He loves mirrors. And he's just recently started liking the TV. We do limit the TV to only about an hour a day. It's usually right when he wakes up, when he's still not very active. I'll put him in his bouncer and put on like VeggieTales. And that keeps him interested for maybe 20 minutes. Sometimes more, depending on how tired he was. When it comes to sleeping, I have to say I'm probably one of the most blessed mommies. Really? He sleeps phenomenally. The one thing when I found out I was pregnant for the second time that I really wanted to make sure I did with him was make sure that I didn't have to rock him to sleep or soothe him to sleep. That I could just lay him down in his crib and he would know it was time to go to sleep. Well, at first, he was using a binky, probably up until about 5 months. He was using a binky, but because he has the weak suck, the binky would constantly fall out of his mouth. Hey, shh, no. Sorry about that. Would constantly fall out of his mouth. Here, go get your ball. And then he'd wake up. I'd have to go in there. So I was like, no, this isn't happening. I'm going to take that binky away. So there was probably 2 or 3 nights of really baby not dealing with it well, having withdrawals, and I did give in once or twice just because I was so tired. And finally, my son realized, hey, I can substitute the binky for something else. So his new favorite thing is my mom bought him this really soft plush Pluto from from Disneyland, and he takes the tail and he sucks on it. And that's fine with me. He's going to find something. Babies will substitute with something. If Pluto's getting washed, then there's an elephant and he'll suck on the trunk. And if that's not there, then he'll suck on his blanket. So I'm not too upset because the thing is that if that falls out of his mouth, he actually has learned to replace it. So he will wake up in the middle of the night, but I don't know that because he just self-soothes himself back to sleep. I was not a big one for giving them the cry it out method. So I would let him, if I, felt that he was just being really fussy and I knew he was tired and he was fighting it, I would let him cry for a maximum of about 5 minutes. And he's got different cries, like all babies do. I know when he's tired, I know when he's hungry, and I know when he's just fussy. So the cry was normally an attention cry, like, hey, somebody come get me. If he really started to get into that anxiety cry, then I would go in there sooner. I'm a sucker of a mom, so I couldn't. I cried as he was crying. So that didn't happen very often, and I kind of have to thank God that I didn't have to do that very often. So now the ritual is he gets a bottle. He goes and lays down in his crib at about 7:45, We put on his mobile, and his mobile has a projector on it, and it projects an image onto the ceiling, and that goes round, and it either plays music, it plays nature sounds, or a heartbeat. And he's had that since he was born. When he was littler, it had a mobile top on it, so it was closer because of their eyesight. But then as he got older, you could take the top off and have it project onto the ceiling. And that's kind of his way of saying, hey, lights are down, the image is on, the music's on, it's time to go to sleep. So we lay him in there, and he's asleep. He doesn't cry anymore. He's just an amazing. And it's the same thing for naps. I've made sure that we got blackout curtains, one, because they really help to keep the wind out, because we are in northern Idaho and it gets really chilly here. Oh, my dog's annoying. And two, because it blacks it out, and he really likes it to be dark. So he still takes about 2 naps during the day. Take it then. Jeez. He still takes 2 naps during the day. How about we take that away? That's really loud. My patience for my dog, ever since being pregnant, is like this much. And she's like, wants attention so much worse now. It's just horrible. Anyways, so he does the same for naps. He is still taking 2 naps a day. And so he goes to sleep at 8 o'clock. He wakes up at about 5 for a bottle. And then he goes to bed until about 7:30 or 8. And then that's when he wakes up. So, good sleeper. When he does take naps, he goes down at about 11:30, and he'll sleep for about 2 hours to 2.5. And then he'll go down at about 3 or 4 for another 1.5 to 2 hour nap. I've tried, the doctors told me to start weaning him off of that second nap, but he likes to sleep. He's a sleeper. And again, I don't rock him, anything. I just put him down, tell him where it's time to go night-night. And next thing I know, I look in the video monitor and he's passed out. So really, when it comes to sleeping, he's just a really, really good baby. Now, when it comes to eating, he loves food. Solid food. We just recently, actually 2 days ago, gave him couscous for the first time. Warning, it is very messy because couscous is very small, and he'll take a bite and he likes to stick his mouth in his hand because we have been self-feeding him or teaching him baby-led weaning. So he is used to when something goes in his mouth, he's holding on to it. So with the couscous, it's on a spoon, so I'd put the spoon in his mouth and then his hand would go in his mouth. So it did get messy, but he absolutely loved it. We've also tried just regular pinto beans. I am making all of his food. I wasn't going to. I was going to be a lazy mom. However, Ealom is allergic to, we think it's the preservative in the jar food. He would get rashes on his cheeks really bad. So I started making his own purees and stuff like that, and it went away. He was on stage 3 foods, and then we had to cut him back to the purees. But now he is doing a lot better with self-feeding himself. So green beans, whole green beans, whole slices of banana, things like that. He's doing really good with those. Me, on the other hand, I have a really hard time with him getting messy or getting the baby chair messy, and so I just kind of have to let that go. I put him in the middle of the kitchen because that's the only place that has like a linoleum or tiled floor. And my dog, I have to thank God, that's the one thing she's good for, is if he does spill his Cheerios or whatever on the floor, she's right there to clean it up. So I do have a cleanup crew, but still I have a hard time with letting him get messy. When it comes to his weight, he is 23 pounds. When it comes to his length, he is 31 inches. So he is in 18-month tops and 12-month bottoms. He's about to be in 18-month bottoms. And yeah, 7 months old. So even the doctor said he's just a big boy. And it's not even, I was starting to get worried because it's not even that he's fat anymore. He's really thinning out because he's so active, either in his jumper or crawling or just, he's just such an active baby. But other than that, yeah, he's learning new stuff every day. We have those, it's like a board, and then it's got the wire that goes from like one area to the other, and then you scoot the blocks around it. He loves those things. And I know those are really advanced for him, but he loves to push the balls around and see them go like drop down. And I had those set aside, put in a little cubby for when he got older, I would pull him out. Well, he crawled over to it one day and started laughing and playing, and so he plays with those all the time now. Other than that, yeah, he's doing really well. He's got 8 teeth now, 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. So he loves to chew on things. And recently we started giving him these sippy cups. These ones have a softer nipple. He is still getting the concept of sucking out of them, so he'll chew on them. But then every once in a while he'll suck and he'll be like, ooh, that's not like milk, that's yummies. So in here we have about this much of the Naked Blue machine, and then the rest is water. Me and my husband drink Naked, and I looked at the ingredients, and it seemed like it would be a phenomenal vitamin-filled drink for him. And I asked his doctor, and he said, sure, try it out. So we tried it out. He loves it. He really, really likes the green machine, which that's got a whole bunch of good stuff in it. So he drinks that, and then we get him 100% sugar-free, like white nectarine and white grape and peach juice as well that he really likes. So he is drinking a lot more fluids other than milk. He probably only gets 3 bottles a day, and those are 6-ounce bottles. Other than that, breakfast is oatmeal. Lunch is a fruit and a veggie. Dinner's a fruit and a veggie. And then throughout the day, he's snacking on like puffs or fruit, whatever mommy's eating. He just kind of eats. My husband likes to give him food when we go out to a restaurant. So he has tried a little bit of biscuit from Red Lobster, and I'm highly against it. But what can you do when my back's turned? So other than that, yeah, that's about it. So that's Ealom's 7-month update. He's doing good. I apologize. I have not been the best vlogger in the world, but I hope you guys understand. So I will do a pregnancy update for number 2. We find out the gender in a week, so that's exciting. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.